having a chance of having economic activity.
And what are you using? Are you using technology to speed that process?
We are using technology. We've just in Barbados introduced a national digital identity verification card, and that is to help us expedite the process in spite of what else we are fighting for in terms of our advocacy out there.
But you're talking about a digital identification card?
Digital identity card.
We don't have that in the United States. Explain to me what that is.
A card that helps you to validate who you are digitally, to give you access to other services so that the banks can take a chance on you in a more credible way. But that costs us millions of dollars to do. In the same way, equally, our banks are using a metric which is in fact far more rigorous than yours. You have a metric of 10,000 US for money laundering. Our metric is the equivalent of 5,000 US. So that every transaction over 5,000 US has to be to having a chance of having economic activity.
And what are you using? Are you using technology?
Today is the day that Allah has made.
We are using technology. We've just in Barbados introduced a national digital identity.
In it. Now today is August 12, 2025. And today is the exact day that the Central Bank of Barbados rolls out their national digital payment system. Now, what's interesting about this national digital payment system, and what they're not telling you, is that this system, much like First Pay and Cash App and much other digital payment systems, is attached to your Trident digital ID. And if you do not accept this ID, eventually you will be cut off from the system and the digital revolution in what will be the cashless agenda in Barbados. If you do not take this Trident ID, 1, you can't vote. 2, you can't have a driver's license. 3, you cannot benefit from social services like health care, etc., etc. You will be cut off from the digital revolution, which is supposed to take Barbados.
$50 bill, and I give it to the barber for my haircut, and then he goes and buys groceries with it from the grocer, and the grocer goes and gets his car washed. The $50 goes from place to place, and after 20 or 30 transactions, the $50 bill belongs to somebody and it's worth $50. Whereas if I pay by card, 1.5% goes to the bank. And then if he takes the money I've given him and pays for the groceries, 1.5% goes to the bank. And after the groceries have been paid for, when he goes to get his car washed, 1.5% goes to the bank. So after 20 or 30 transactions, the $50 is gone, the bank has it all. I think that's why they're so desperate to get rid of cash. It's interesting. CBDCs are the next level, because once the money's completely digital, then they control everything you do with it. They control where it goes, but they can also control how and when it can be spent. Imagine some terrible future dystopian society where your money arrives and they say it can only be spent on food, or it can only be spent on vegetables because you've had too much meat this week, or you can't buy transport to a particular area because there's resistance to government oppression in that area. So your money won't work for trains right now because nobody can go down there, because we don't want everyone in a large group. We want everyone at home in their pods. And they can track everywhere it goes, and they can also track how it's spent, and they control how it's spent. They put a time limit on it. You have an hour to spend this money. It's scary. Like, think of all the ways they can inflict control over it. If you have a $50 bill,
telling you, if you don't start taking what I'm saying seriously, you're going to be screwed. This is really happening. This is not some, oh my God, it might. This is, watch this and wait for the end for solutions.
Big change could be coming to how you prove who you are. Utah State is considering rolling out a digital ID to help prove who you are in your online dealings. But with data breaches on the rise, Jim Spiewak asked if this can be a game changer for your online safety and security.
Everyone is born with identity.
You control your identity. You should control your digital identity.
Christopher Bramwell, Utah's chief privacy officer, is leading the state's effort to create a state-endorsed digital identity system, which would provide residents with a verified digital credential proving they are who they say they are.
So someone being able to pretend that they're me probably wouldn't happen. The whole point of state-endorsed digital identity is to give you control of your identity, so nobody can impersonate you.
Bramwell sees initial uses for digital identity for things like going through TSA or verifying identity for government services. But he also says demand is growing in the private sector.
Why wouldn't you just use an identity you control to log into services, and you don't have to worry about reset passwords?
Bramwell says once you receive your credential, the state won't know when you use it and it won't be tracked, but it would be stored securely in something like a digital wallet.
What do we tell people about why this will be secure?
The security is our top priority, but most importantly, how do you recover when there's a security breach without having to do reissuance of identity to everybody in the state?
Utah lawmakers passed Senate Bill 260 this year, which laid the baseline policy that gives individuals the right to digital identity, but not a mandate to opt in. Senator Kirk Cullimore was the bill's sponsor.
Everything is digital now. A lot of what we do, even interacting with the state, is digital.
With AI advancing rapidly, Cullimore believes many technologies will soon require state endorsement.
Do you feel confident that what is in policy right now as we start to build this out is the most safe and secure?
You're going to be screwed if you don't start acting. This is why I'm taking time out of my life to do weekly Zoom classes explaining how to be in a position to say F you to digital IDs and everything that comes with it. Because if we don't...
All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and in sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. This is Brother Kratazah from the Fountain of Living Waters, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This lesson being entitled CBDCs and digital IDs may be closer than you think, or sooner than you think, something along those lines. But we just watched these 3 videos, and just do a quick recap.
Today is the day that
just talking about how Barbados has already rolled out the digital IDs, and as she's breaking it down, I'm not gonna play it, but as she's breaking it down to the American guy, he's like, we don't have digital ID here in America, so can you let me know what it is? And she tells you, hey, it's so that you can identify yourself online. And as the guy alluded to, it's gonna be attached to the healthcare. It's gonna you're not gonna be able to vote. You're not gonna be able to really participate in society without you having that digital ID. So let's just grab a scripture real quick. This is Revelation 13:15. It says, and he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? So that's what they're going to do. Of course, they could actually kill you, but if you don't, just like what he's saying is, you're going to be killed to society. You're going to be ostracized. You're an outsider. All right? You're going to be a weirdo. People are going to look down on you because you're going against the grain, going against the masses. Everyone's going to be traveling on that same road. Everyone's going to want to get paid from going to work. Everyone's going to want to either keep their food stamps or their health care, or their medical benefits, or want to be able to vote or drive a car. Slakia. Everything that we take for granted as a so-called right, or your free will or whatnot, when there's a monetary value put on it, or when there's a caveat like you got to get the MOT to the B, or fuck you, or even just something simple as starting with the digital ID. That's when things are going to start getting real interesting, and then that's where you're going to see who the true believers are. And then you had Andrew Tate just giving a little bit more nuance to it, a little bit more levels to it. He mentioned, if three people had the same $50 bill, the fourth person get the $50 bill. It's still worth $50. But with the fees, the banks, what they do, they nickel and dime you. They take just a little bit off, so that, it don't really affect you too much. Like even with Cash App, like if you send money from your Cash App to your bank account, like they'll do it for free, but it take 3 days. So, I don't know nobody who just wastes those 3 days. Most people just hit the button, or I do it now and charge me that 27 cent, or however much it is. But when you add that up over, yeah, it's kind of late. I ain't used to being up this late, and then it's daylight savings time is kind of beating me up right now. But when you add that 27 cent here, $1.20 there, 42 cents here, so on and so forth, when you add all that up over a year, and then times that by the millions of people who's doing it, it's just a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's all about control. Because they'll tell you it's peace and safety, and just like in this video,
Start acting now.
with with Utah's telling you, well, it'll protect you. You don't have to worry about anyone trying to steal your identity online and so forth and so on and so forth. Well, the scriptures speak about, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come up upon them as revealed upon a woman, right? So when Esau, who is the sword of the Lord, right, who is as death, when he starts talking about your betterment and what's best for you, so on and so forth, run for the hills. You got to run for the hills. Because he ain't got nothing good planned for you. He's putting the wool over your eyes so he can give you the okie doke. All right. And it's all part of this new world order system that they got going. And this is why we pray to the Most High. This is why we in His faith look for new heavens and a new earth. We look to be saved, for salvation, right? So this is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." Right? Says, disappoint him, cast him down. Disappoint who? Disappoint the so-called white man from enacting this new world order, which we'll get that here in a second. Matter of fact, let's just jump over to Job 5 and 12. It says, "He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise." Speaking of that new world order, right? It says, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet in darkness in the daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. Because they have all these different think tanks and bouncing ideas off each other and everything, and they want to make it seem like they got it all down, but really they scrambling as well. They're shaking in their boots because they know what the scriptures say. They're not only are they listening to us, but they have their own scholars breaking down the scriptures. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. When you try to make your new world order, the Lord's gonna come back with his chariots and destroy America and the various places around the world. But Esau's so high-minded, he think that he can defeat the Most High, that he can supersede the prophecies. It's not gonna happen. jump back in Psalm 17 and 14. It says, "From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life." You know, the 1%, the top 1% bacon families. That's who is running this world. That's who's implementing the CBDCs. That's who owns the Fed. That's who um, America is, $30 trillion in debt to. All right. The ones who have their portion in this life. It says, "In whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are all full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes." And it's old money, like they say. This ain't no new LeBron James or Jay-Z. That's new money. That's first generation money. We talking about money from the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and Gettys, people who was rich in the 1700s who still rich in the 2020s. That's old money, you know. And what comes with that old money is power and influence. And they use that power and they use that influence, and ultimately they're going to use it to do this new world order. All right, so that's really all I really wanted to get. Just wanted to show those videos and just let you know, hey man, this thing is creeping along, man. Barbados already got it. Utah talking about it, and right now it's on the state level. So all states are gonna make their judgment call on it until But then all it takes is one lawsuit to go federal. Or Trump can just pass a law. It don't take too much. All right. We on the cusp of getting out of here. So stay prayed up, keep fighting. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar You're giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of the GMS who taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and in sincerity, all the men and women who follow. Shalom.